Dun 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 dun.
It's a special episode of that Zed Podcast brought to you by YellowCard. And I think every time I hear, well, I think most of us, every time we hear the name YellowCard, I'm taken straight to K-Star and the 4 bars. Do you watch that though?
I don't. No, I don't. I'm not even a big
So you've got no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to YellowCard and the 4 bars. Wow. Anywho, today we're talking to...
You don't? Today.
No, I don't.
Well, there's K-Star. We had K-Star.
I know K-Star, but I don't.
Yeah, he's got a page. I think it's called... The page is also K-Star, right? Yeah, so on his page, there's a Tuesday... They call it Tiflo Tuesday, and it's sponsored by YellowCard.
Right.
So what he does is he brings famous and not so famous people to come onto the show, and all you have to do is just spit 4 bars. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just rap 4 bars, but it has to be something killer.
Oh, so
4
I'm on
killer
the wrong
bars.
show.
No, you're on the right show. You're on a podcast now. You wanna give us 4 bars as well?
We're gonna spit 4 bars,
please. K-Star, sorry to borrow your concept, but we're dropping 4 bars here, and Chris Maurice is about to give us some bars.
Oh man, it's let me tell you, if I could rap, I'd already have been on that show, man.
This guy's a disappointment. What are we even doing here, man?
Right.
Hey man, like you said, I'm here. I'm on the right show.
You are, absolutely.
I'm right where I belong.
Yeah, we're not spitting 4 bars here. Chris Maurice is co-founder and CEO of YellowCard. I'm sure you've been seeing this name flying up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all. And he's here today to tell us more about YellowCard. Chris Maurice.
Our very first white guest.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. My mom was proud of me. Like, I actually know a real live white person.
And is giving us money.
Right. Yeah. Like, I didn't make this up. Next time I'm going for a loan application at the bank.
I know a white guy.
Can you just take along?
Put that on there.
You don't need to just say shit. You just need to sit there.
I know a white guy.
I'll just walk in with you.
Right.
Chris, you are the CEO, co-founder of YellowCard, and as far as I'm concerned, it's a bit of a big name, man. Like, it's a big deal in this country. And I'd like you to take us through the journey of, how did we get to where we are today? Take us through the journey of how YellowCard, came into being.
Oh man. Well, that's to make a really long story short. So
No, you can make it long as a podcast. Feel free.
man. So basically, we were building something in the U.S. Right? We wanted to put gift cards in stores in the U.S. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That was our idea. Gift cards in stores that you'd be able to redeem for crypto. Right? So the idea was you'd walk into a pharmacy, walk into a supermarket, buy this gift card, redeem it for Bitcoin. Right? And so busy building that out, and I spent probably a year trying to build this out. Right? And I met a Nigerian guy at a Wells Fargo in Auburn, Alabama, of all places, middle of nowhere. Who was trying to send $200 to his family in Nigeria, and the bank charged him $90 to send $200 to Nigeria. Right?
That's like 50% of what you're sending is...
It's wild. Yeah, it's going to the bank.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right? And so I heard this and I was like, that's outrageous, right? But
Yeah.
at the same time, what do I know, right? But I talked to this guy. Hey, have you heard of Bitcoin? It's free, it's instant, it's fun, all this great stuff. And I went home later that day and I started thinking about this guy's family, right? And I was like, what would his mom do if he sent her $200 worth of Bitcoin, right? Like, it solves, it gets money from point A to point B, but then it's like, what is his mom going to do with that in Lagos, Nigeria, right? Even in San Francisco, you can't pay your rent in Bitcoin. You can't buy food with it, And so it's like, what is this actually going to do for her, right? And so I just started doing all this research, right? And I will say I didn't know much about Africa at the time. They don't teach you nearly as much about Africa as you might think they do in the American education system.
Did you also think we have lions just roaming our neighborhoods and stuff?
Man, in the U.S., you literally just learn what's on TV. and it's not great images normally on
Yeah,
TV.
it's kids with flies all over.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
So sad, man.
Yeah, and Africa's a country, right? Of course.
Yeah. And everybody speaks Swahili.
Everybody knows everybody.
Everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, like I was like, I knew enough at the time, and I've been in Bitcoin since 2013, right? So I was super early. It was less than $100, right? And so like been in it since the beginning. And I knew enough to know that, wow, Bitcoin solves this problem, right? But it's not a direct solution, right? Something's missing. And so I just started doing all of this research, and I wanted to learn everything I could about Nigeria, Africa more broadly, about what's the currency like, what's the banking system like, do people know what Bitcoin is, can you buy it, can you sell it? And I started doing all this research, and I said, man, if I'm really going to learn something, I just need to talk to somebody in Nigeria, right?
Yeah.
And so I put out online looking to speak to Nigerian men, which in hindsight I should have worded better. But
I'm about to say the same thing. Like, it makes it sound like a dating kind of.
And so I get in touch with this guy named Minachi, right?
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I tell everybody this. Minachi is the most convincing person I've ever met in my life.
Right.
Because within about a month and a half of meeting this Nigerian man on the internet, he convinces me to use the rest of my money to buy a one-way ticket to Lagos, Nigeria.
Sounds like Nigerians, though.
I was about to say, you're really brave. Because we all know about Nigerians and the Prince story.
I roll up in Lagos to meet this guy. He was like, man, y'all should just bring everything you're doing over here. Like, it sounds cool. Just do it here. And I roll up into Nigeria to meet this guy with no visa, no shots, no idea what I'm doing. I had no money left. I literally spent the rest of my money on the ticket. I arrive without enough money to return
2013?
home.
When was this?
This was 2017.
Right, okay.
2018, sorry, 2018.
Yeah, right.
4 days after I graduated college, I was on a plane to Nigeria.
Wow.
And I didn't have enough money to get back. So the options were either make this work or live in Nigeria for the rest of my life. So
And your parents ain't coming to your rescue, are they?
I didn't really tell my parents what I was doing.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, oh, I'm going to Africa. You know, they were like,
To that country,
have
yeah.
fun, you know. Like, send some pictures of giraffes, and I was like, oh, they don't really
And kids
have
with
those
flies
there.
all over their faces, yeah.
So it's there's some things that you kind of hide from your parents. They know broadly what I do, right? They don't know that I spent 2 months in DR Congo, but they know broadly what I do, right?
You came all the way from America and you spent time in Congo, and it's our neighboring country here, just across the border up north. And I've never been there before. I'm scared. I'm scared of going to Congo.
Countries that I have never been
Dude,
to because I'm too scared.
I was gonna say I got a friend in Zim.
Yeah.
Last time I was in Zim, he drove me up to Lusaka. That was my first time in Lusaka, and I was like, man, let's go to Lubumbashi, or what is it right on the other side of the
Lubumbashi,
border,
yeah.
right? I was like, man, let's go to Congo. Let's do it. He was like, there's no way in hell I'm driving.
I am never going to Congo.
The border, and you can walk.
Man, nah. Yeah, so your Lagos story now. You're in Lagos now, yeah?
Oh my God, man. That's So we arrive in Lagos, and at the risk of sounding cliche, it was a life-changing experience, right? It was I guess additional context that's probably important here. I had been on a plane 4 times in my life before starting the company. I had never left the country. I had to get my passport 10 days before the trip, right? So I had absolutely no idea what life was like outside of like one specific area of the U.S.
Wow, and you take a great leave before even visiting any other states. You go straight to another country.
And I meet a Nigerian man on the internet that tells me to come visit him, and I'm there.
Jeez.
Wow. How did that go, though?
But I don't know any successful person who
Didn't take that risk,
Crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the craziest thing is, I've been to Nigeria as well, and the few friends that I have, there's one thing that we've realized, that there is something about Nigeria that changes the way you think.
Oh yeah.
It changes your perspective on business, on life, on. You're never the same person.
No. Man, those guys are born business people, man.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Like it's
I went to go to Nigeria.
Yeah, man, the hustle, the drive, it's unbelievable, man. That's there's like Lagos is a city unlike any other, right?
Yeah,
like
that's
it's
true.
just the energy and everything there.
So how did the business unfold? So you get in Nigeria, you meet this dude.
Yeah, and I mean, basically, you know, what we realized very quickly, right? Just running around, talking to people, right? We went to a few conferences, did a few things, and it didn't take long before we realized, like, man, the problem is really just access, right? Like, if you want Bitcoin, how do you access it, right? Or if you have Bitcoin, somebody gave you Bitcoin, what do you do with it? How do I access like fiat, right?
Right.
And so, it clicked really early. It's like, man, we're not going to reinvent the wheel here.
Yeah.
We're just going to provide access. And so basically we sat down, we got the team together, we sat down, and it's like, okay, what payment methods make sense here, right? Like if I want to buy something, anything, how do I pay for it, right? And so for Nigeria, it's bank transfer, but here it's mobile money, it's bank transfer, anything like that, right? And so it's like, okay, well, then how do we accept those payment methods, right? And so we registered a company, we started hiring, we got a bank account, and just started accepting. Man, we were doing everything manual in the beginning because we weren't integrating it or anything like that. It was just like somebody would send us money, and then we would look at the bank statement. It's like, oh, okay, this guy, give him the Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
And and then it was very slow. It took us probably a month and a half to do the first 100K in transactions.
Wow.
Which, I mean, 100K, I guess, sounds like a big number. 100K USD sounds like a big number, but in crypto, that's
it's nothing.
That's nothing in crypto, right? Like that's peanuts in
It's
crypto.
like 5 coins, yeah.
Yeah, it took us probably a month and a half to do 100K, right? And then COVID hits. People are locked in their houses. At this point too, we're in Nigeria, we're in South Africa, Botswana, and I think we had just launched Zambia around the time that COVID hit, if I remember correctly. And people are locked in their houses, right? People got nothing to do but play on the internet. All of a sudden, man, now we're doing 100K a day, right? All of a sudden it is taking off. And so it's like, oh man, is it actually working, right? It's crazy. And so, then, oh man, we had to, that was the point at which we were like, all right, now we gotta build a real business around this.
Only when you're making $100,000 a day do you realize.
Well, not making, but we were exchanging 100K a day, right?
Transactions with 100.
Yeah, volume, right? Yeah,
it wasn't your money.
No, God, no. Yeah, it's no, I'd be somewhere in the Bahamas right now, kicking it up if we were making 100K a day. Man.
There's a lot of people watching this, and crypto is a word, of course, it's a new buzzword.
That we've heard. Times.
We hear all the time.
I don't know what the fuck it means.
Exactly. Let me not even say the layman out there. For me, I don't quite understand what crypto is all about.
That's because you're a college dropout.
That too. But then again, there's millions of people who are educated as well. No, you shouldn't take it back.
I don't know what option he has. There's an option.
Okay. I should go back like Kanye West and just drop out again. Yeah. I know there's thousands of people. We hear the word crypto all the time. YellowCard is here. Maybe YellowCard can help us understand better what crypto is all about and how we can, make money out of crypto and YellowCard. You know what I mean?
I sure hope so.
Yeah.
That's if I can't, then this is a problem. But I will do my best. So I mean, the best way to think about crypto is Zambia has the kwacha. US has the dollar, South Africa has the rand, right? Japan has the yen. The internet has crypto. The internet has Bitcoin, right? It is the currency of the internet, right? And so think about how important the internet is in our lives now, right? This show that we're doing is only possible because of the internet, right?
Yeah.
And so the way that I see it and the way that normally clicks for people is, man, it's about time that the internet, which is larger than a lot of countries, has its own currency, right? And so, just traditional payment methods don't make as much sense when you take into account the internet age, right? Back in the day when everybody was just, running around and, bartering and, buying stuff at their local store with cash and whatever, then that's fine. But I mean, the internet age, man, I can buy something from, China. I can buy something from South Africa. I can buy something from anywhere in the world with a few clicks, right, on any website. And it's like, are they going to accept my payment method? Right? It's like, are they going to take kwacha in China? No, of course not. Are they going to take kwacha in South Africa? Are they going to take it in Nigeria? It's like you need you need a currency that works for the entirety of the internet, right? And that's really what crypto provides. It's a borderless, decentralized currency that makes it as easy as possible to be able to send anybody money, receive money from anywhere, right? Whether I'm sitting next to you, you're halfway across the world.
Yeah.
All you got to do is give me your wallet, and boom, money's in your wallet, right? And you can send that, you can forward that to him, whether again he's sitting next to you or he's halfway across the world, right?
I think the way you've broken it down, a high schooler can now understand what crypto is. A college dropout can now understand what crypto is. And I think we can move on now to talk about, how there are so many, crypto exchange platforms in Africa. But what makes YellowCard different? Like, why should we subscribe to, YellowCard?
Yeah, I think the first thing that I realized, right, where sort of back to that origin story, we're sitting down, we're trying to figure out what makes sense in Nigeria for this exchange, right, to get this going, and it's like, man, we're relying on people that have lived here and understand this, right? And so it's like, well, I am certainly not going to try to build this myself and then try to push it into countries that I'd not been to. And so really what set us apart and what continues to set us apart is that in every country that we work in, all 16 of them right now, and adding more, we actually have a local entity. We hire locally. We pay our taxes. We have an office, right? We have great people. We hire the best people we can find on the ground, and then just rely on them, right? Hey, what do you need here? What makes sense here, right? Mm-hmm. We have sort of the international pool of resources, right? We have a dev team. We have compliance, legal, all of that. How can we take that and make it work in this context specifically?
Interesting. One other thing that I wanted to find out as well, I know we're jumping all over the place, especially with like what's happening with the US and Ukraine and Russia and sanctions. There has been a lot of talk about Russia using cryptocurrency in exchange for goods, and on the back of that, there's been a lot of talk about possibly regulating it. Is that possible? Do you think it's advisable for governments to regulate any form of crypto?
Oh, 100%. I think it needs some sort of regulation everywhere, right? The question is less so should it be regulated, and more so what should those regulations look like, right? What are smart regulations that actually encourage this technology as opposed to trying to hinder it, right? And what I would say specifically about like Russia and that kind of thing, the amazing thing with crypto is that there is an anonymous factor to it, right? In that if you give me your wallet and you don't tell me who you are, then I won't know who you are. But in order for that money to really interact with the sort of, local currencies, then there's an exchange which has to collect certain information, right? And so what that means is you can actually trace crypto pretty easily because of the blockchain. I can see exactly which wallets this money is moving into and out of. And then there only has to be one wallet on an exchange somewhere. And then boom, we know who you are, right? And so what that means is the US government and the UN and other international bodies have been able to sanction Bitcoin addresses specifically, right? The same way that you would sanction a bank account, the same way that you would sanction an individual, right? And so, for example, when somebody is sending money off of YellowCard, off of the platform, sending crypto off of the platform, it goes through a number of checks against sanctions lists to make sure that you're not trying to send to a wallet that's on a sanctions list or that's associated with Russia, associated with something
drug
like
dealers.
that, right? Associated with drug dealers, exactly, right? And so, I mean, from that standpoint, I mean, the amount of like checks and everything is, I mean, pretty incredible that you're able to do with crypto, right? And people don't really understand that, right? I mean, the best advice that I give to any criminals watching is like, crypto's not your best, like that's not your best option. Cash.
Go to the dark web.
Cash is always the best option, man. I'm telling you. You want to launder money, you use cash. You don't use crypto, man. I'm telling you. It's nuts the amount of, the amount of like data that we're able to collect because the blockchain is all public.
What is blockchain? Right? That's another term that I heard a lot.
Yeah. So the blockchain is
doing blockchain a lot with NFTs.
Yeah. So we talked about crypto, right? And so like how does that money of the internet work, right? Because there's no bank that issues it, there's no government behind it, right? So how does it actually work? Well, the way that it works is it's maintained by users across the world. right? And so that is what maintains the blockchain, which is just the record of every transaction that has ever happened, right? So Bitcoin has its own blockchain, for example, right? And then there's other blockchains. Ethereum has its own blockchain. Different coins have different chains, right? And the blockchain is a record of literally every transaction that has ever happened in that currency.
Wow.
Right? Imagine if like you could see literally every bank transfer that's ever happened in Zambia, regardless of who did it, where it happened, when it happened, right? And it was all just on a public ledger. That's essentially what the blockchain is, right? Okay. It's anonymized. It's all just wallet IDs, right? So I don't know, unless I know that it's your wallet, I don't know that it's you transacting, but I can see every single transaction that's ever happened, right? And so with the blockchain, the way that it works is essentially the way that like the money works and that it's able to work without a bank is when I want to send Bitcoin. So I'm sending, 1 Bitcoin to you, right? What happens is you have what's called miners, which are the people essentially propping up the blockchain and maintaining the blockchain. And these miners, to verify that transaction, to make sure that it's legitimate, it's not a hack, it's not, a scam, anything like that. What these miners do is they go through every single transaction that's ever happened in Bitcoin. And they say, okay, this person actually owns this Bitcoin. We can see where it came from. We can see that it started here and then it ended up in this wallet on this date. So this person actually owns that Bitcoin. And then what it does is it updates that ledger. It updates the blockchain to say, now you own that Bitcoin.
Right. Okay, cool.
Right. And so that's how it's maintained without a bank having to do it. Right. All that a bank is doing is that. Right. They're just updating their ledgers to say, you used to have money. Now I have the money. Right?
Who are the miners? How do you?
Anybody, anywhere in the world can be a miner, right? That's the beauty of it. That's why it's decentralized is because literally anybody can do it. And so the beauty of Bitcoin is that anybody can get involved. It doesn't matter. And the other thing is, and this is sort of a common misconception, because right now Bitcoin's 23,000 US, right?
Jesus.
One Bitcoin is 23,000.
But you can buy parts of it, right?
Exactly. Yeah, you can. It's divisible to 8 decimal places. So not only can you buy parts of it, it is significantly more divisible than the kwacha, than the dollar, than the rand, than any normal currency, right? And so I can start with 0.000001 Bitcoin, right? I can start with 2 kwacha if I want to, right? Literally anybody can get involved.
Interesting. Yeah, that's the other thing that I wanted to find out. Only just recently as well. I mean, in South Africa, Range Rover is now accepting Bitcoin to buy vehicles. Yeah. Okay. I saw that
for the big boys.
Yeah.
I think for me that begs the question: if companies like that are starting to accept, cryptocurrency, are you paying taxes on these things? I mean, considering they're not going through banks where the government is able to see what you transacted in a month and tax you on that. Are we doing taxes on Bitcoins as well? So
Bitcoin is a currency, right? So insofar as you're buying Bitcoin, there's not a tax on buying Bitcoin. It's not it's not like bananas or something, right? It's not like a good that you're food or something that you're buying. Yeah. That being said, if you buy, a Range Rover with Bitcoin, you should theoretically be paying taxes. I'm not the police, but theoretically you should be paying taxes.
But there's a possibility that it's not happening. So basically, the central banks are not liking you guys, are they?
The central banks. Look, of course, it varies by country, but I will say, like for Zambia specifically, BOZ has been significantly. I mean, you can tell. When you're working with regulators that actually want this technology and actually want innovation in their country, you can tell, right? And there are definitely countries where that's not the case.
So what kind of vibe are you getting in Zambia, though?
Oh man, they like Zambia. Here's what I say is that Zambia and like Lusaka specifically, if it really wants to, and if it keeps sort of promoting like the fintech and the startups and the tech ecosystem here, could be a Silicon Valley for Africa, right? I mean, this because you look at like what other cities could take a title like that, and there's not. I mean, you have a lot of startups in Lagos, but like there's also issues with regulation and everything there. You have startups in Cape Town, Joburg, but it's not. It's just.
I thought Kenya was more in the forefront of this thing.
There is a lot going on in Nairobi, right? Yeah. But it's like Zambia more so than any other country that we deal in. Like you can tell when regulators really want this tech here, right? I mean, that doesn't mean that they're like the fastest people on the planet, right? They still need to, but. The big thing, and kind of like we were talking about earlier, like regulation is good. The question is it how smart is the regulation? What is
Right.
smart regulation look
Yeah.
like? And the way that I see it, there's really 2-3 things, right? So number one, it's the job of BOZ, it's the job of the government to protect people in Zambia, to protect consumers, right? It's the job of them to stop scams, to stop illicit activity, stop terrorist financing, stop any money laundering, anything like that, right? And then number 3 is it's their job to promote innovation, right? It's their job to like keep the economy moving forward, right? If you don't have innovation, then the economy is just going to stagnate, right?
Yeah.
And economies shrink naturally, right?
Yeah,
You
of
got to keep
course.
them going.
Yeah,
You got to
yeah.
pour a little gasoline on there, right? So it's those are really the 3 big things. And what I will say is that Zambia, unlike some other countries, remembers that third point that you want to encourage the innovation, right? Some countries look at it and they say we got to protect consumers and we got to stop scams and money laundering, anything like that, and they forget about hey, we actually need tech companies here, right?
Yeah. How do you get? Man, I'm going off script here. How do you get companies? So right now we're shooting from Kingsland City.
I was about to cut you off to say that. No, you know the place better.
Yeah. So we're at Kingsland. As you can see, pretty good backdrop. Amazing.
So many
property
vacant houses that need to be bought
that need
and
to be
lived
bought.
in.
Yeah.
These houses are for big boys, man. I was looking at it, man. It's like $5,000, man. Me. My God, look at the way this man's dressed. This is a big guy. You know why he knows Range Rover accepts Bitcoin? He was looking for his new one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, listen, I have the smallest property in here, like the entry level. That's the one that I got. So how do you get businesses if they would like to accept Bitcoin for whatever services, sell houses? So from something as small as groceries to people that are selling cars, property. How do you suggest that people would start accepting Bitcoin as payment?
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna ruffle some feathers within the crypto community here, but I don't think that it's necessary for everybody on earth to accept Bitcoin. Like I don't think that like every business on earth needs to accept Bitcoin. It should be used for every payment. I really don't see a day anywhere in the near future where I'm walking down the street in Lusaka and I buy a cup of coffee with Bitcoin, right? I think that what's needed first and foremost is the infrastructure for exchange, right? So like, okay, let's say I'm walking down the street and I have Bitcoin. How do I pay for that coffee, right? They accept Kwacha. How do I pay for that coffee, right? And so that's really what we're trying to build is how do you enable just that infrastructure where somebody that has that Bitcoin can just very easily liquidate it? Boom! Now it's on my MTM SIM card. I can pay in mobile money.
So
right?
so what's the answer to that? How do you liquidate your Bitcoin?
Well, I mean, personally, I use YellowCard, but I'm biased. So
how does it work? Just let me know how it works.
So I mean, so the way that it works specifically, right? So you download the app, right? You put in some basic KYC information, some basic information. Again, we have to make sure you're not on a sanctions list, you're not a terrorist, something like that. Once that's done, then you're good to go, right? So now bank transfer, mobile money, whatever you have, you can buy Bitcoin, buy USDT, buy Ethereum, right? Whatever you want. Works the exact same way in reverse, right? So let's say you come to Lusaka, all you have is Bitcoin, right? But again, you need to be able to pay for that coffee. Right. And that guy on the street is not going to be accepting Bitcoin anytime soon, right? And so let's be realistic about that, right? And so how do I liquidate that? How do I get money on my Airtel that I can pay for it with, right? And so that's where the other side comes in, right? So you put it on your wallet and then just liquidate it, right? Sell it for Kwacha and then have that Kwacha sent directly to your SIM, have it sent directly to your bank, and then you can make that payment, right? So
which of the two are you seeing the most demand in? People buying Bitcoin or people selling it on your platform? In Zambia, that is.
In Zambia, it really depends. The thing is it swings, right? People watch the market, not just the crypto market, but also like the FX market, right? So, hey, look, Kwacha's getting stronger. Well, I'm gonna get some Kwacha, right? I'm gonna sell my Bitcoin, get some Kwacha, right? If Kwacha starts, sort of getting a little bit weaker in the markets, then all of a sudden you're gonna see people buying things like Tether, right? USDT pegged against the dollar for stability, right? And so it really depends on what's going on in the world, what's going on in the markets in terms of like, do people want crypto or are people trying to sell crypto, right?
Well, what's the biggest reason that people, based off what you just said, that people buy crypto for? Is it to store value? if I have, I don't know, say 500 kwacha, what's the biggest reason that you'd feel that I would or anybody would buy any crypto?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think the best way to think about it is that crypto is, again, the money of the internet. And just makes it significantly easier for you to be able to move your money around, use your own money, right? Do whatever you need with your own money. So the biggest use cases that we really see, especially in Zambia, are people that need to make payments internationally.
Right. Okay,
right.
Cool.
So I'm here. I need to send money to my friends and family in Bots. I need to send money to Malawi. I need to send money to, wherever, wherever my friends are, wherever my family is, or vice versa, right? I got a friend in South Africa. They want to send me money, right? Well, hey, look, some of these, like I said earlier, right? The bank charged that guy $90 to send 200, right? Some of these remittance companies have just sort of lost touch. And so, hey, send it through crypto, much faster, much easier. You get a better rate most of the time, right? And so that's, people are using it for that. People are using it for international transfer, for things like that, payments. Savings is also a big one. So again, one of the most popular coins on the platform is Tether, USDT, right? And so essentially what it is it's pegged 1-to-1 against the dollar. So one Tether is $1. And so it gives people access to dollars in a way that they can save and store securely, right? And so those are the kind of things that people are using it for, right? Just think about everything that like you want your bank to be able to do, and that's what you can actually do with crypto. Yeah.
Do you think it's gonna replace conventional banking one day?
Not necessarily. I think again, I would say that and again, like this is where I deviate from, I think, like a lot of like the hardcore crypto community is that like I don't really see Bitcoin as a replacement. I do not see Bitcoin as a replacement for Kwacha. I don't see Bitcoin as a replacement for Rand. I don't see it as a replacement for shilling or anything else. Yeah. What I do see it as a replacement for, though, is the dollar. In that right now, the US dollar is used for basically any international transaction, right? Like if you're, I see
where you're taking this.
If you're moving money even to Malawi, right?
You have to use the US rate.
Shit, the currency name is the same and you still got to go through the dollar, man. It's wild.
Yeah.
Right. Because banks, banks across different countries don't talk. Right. And so everybody wants to speak the same language. The dollar is that same language.
Yeah.
Right. So you're moving money to Malawi. What's that money actually doing? Most of the time, that money's going to New York. That money's going to London. That money's going somewhere and then coming back to the continent. Right. That whole part, all those fees, everything that those intermittent banks are doing can be cut out by Bitcoin.
And those are the ones that accumulate to the $90 that your friend was meant to pay to send money to Nigeria.
$90, man. You can I can fly it there. You buy the ticket 7 months in advance. Get a couple of strippers too. Get a nice discount, right?
You mentioned earlier you're in 16 countries.
Yes.
And
that's massive.
Yeah, that's massive. You know, I'm bringing this up. You mentioned 16 countries, but you look at the time frame that all of this has happened in. What would you attribute your success to, and how have you managed to expand so fast?
Insanity.
It's the American way.
Either that or you got a good sangoma. You know what a sangoma is?
Sorry?
You know what a sangoma is?
No.
Wizard?
No, you wanna explain what a sangoma is?
No wizard? No.
In South Africa they call it umtakat. You know. Wait, explain what a sangoma is.
Like a wizard. Is that a wizard? Is that a sangoma a wizard?
Yeah, kinda, right?
Yeah. Like a witch doctor or
like
something.
A witch doctor.
A witch doctor.
Right.
There's been no sorcery involved in the creation of YellowCard. Want to make sure that's clear for the people watching.
Aren't those popular in New Orleans?
They are. Oh, the
right?
witch doctors. Oh, yeah, the voodoo.
Yeah, the voodoo, right.
They come from South America, right?
Yeah, a lot of them.
Cuba and
that's where you're from.
Oh, I'm Chris.
Oh man,
explain this rapid expansion, man.
Man, you guys have found me out though. That's the problem. We gotta cut this. Like your question of like how did we make it work in so many different places is we embraced that. It was like, man, it's different in every place. So that's, I mean, right now we have 202 people on the team in 21 countries.
Wow.
Right. And so we embraced it, man. We were like, man, we like every country that we go to, let's find somebody, let's bring them on the team. Right. right? Hey, like you're going to be CEO for Zambia. You're going to be, you're going to be running Botswana. You're going to be running
CEO of Zambia.
It's this is my man Namakando. My man's running marketing here.
Oh, right. Karen is the CEO.
Karen's the big boss. We all report to Karen.
Well, Karen is the lady that came with Naidu.
Yes, myself included. We all report to Karen. Karen's the big boss.
Right.
Okay. I mean, at the end of the day,
she needs to put that in a CV like a white person reports to me.
I mean, it's like whenever. Yeah, you were saying?
Yeah. Wait. So I want to find out, like, when it comes to the uptake of crypto, where do you see either the biggest potential, or how do you compare Africa to the US in terms of how crypto?
Yeah, I think what I would correct you on there is that everybody talks about like the potential uptake of crypto. Everybody talks about crypto as if it's like something in the future. People talk about like when is crypto gonna?
It's there now.
It's happening. It's now. It's right now. It's so in the present. It's wild, and like people don't realize how in the present it is. So Chainalysis is a company that does essentially just blockchain analytics and gives an idea of, hey, what countries are doing a lot in crypto, that kind of thing, right? 6 of the top 20 countries in the world for crypto are in Africa. 6 of the top 20.
Wow.
Yeah. People don't realize that, man. This
is crazy.
People don't understand. Like it's so present. It's so happening right now. It's not like when is it going to happen? It's like, man, how do we keep this going? Right.
And it's really passing us by.
It's nuts, man. But like the thing is it's like what I love about it is that it's not passing. Like so many other, like because of so many like historical issues and everything, like different technological innovations have passed the continent by, right? But like crypto is not. Like Africa is like one of the leading continents for crypto, right? It's what, number 2 in transactions behind North America, right? And so it's like, man, like Africa is on the forefront of crypto, and that's really what people don't realize, right? And that's what like I wish more people would realize is that like it's not only is it like solving real problems, but it's happening now, like in practice. It's not like a theoretical like this could do something cool. It's like, man, this is actually solving people's problems now.
Yeah. And then I was reading up an announcement from the Bank of Zambia. And that was early this year when it was announced that the Bank of Zambia was researching digital currencies as they have the potential, like I'm reading here, to expand financial inclusion, improve traceability, safety and efficiency of payment systems. What are your thoughts on this?
Hey, like I said, man, BOZ, they want to encourage innovation, man. It's great, really. Like every country in the world that's not looking at like digital currencies and central bank digital currencies, CBDCs and things like that is behind at this point, right? And so it's, man, I mean, I love cash as much as the next guy, but like, let's be honest, like cash is not, again, like when we talk about like, Bitcoin makes sense for the internet age, like, you want to talk about like antiquated technologies. The idea of like having to exchange paper notes as value is, I mean, like, hey, I got a phone, man. Like, just send me Momo, right? I don't want all that. So I mean, like, I think it's really a step in the right direction, right? I mean, research is research. We'll see what happens, but I mean, it's a step in the right direction in that. Like every country that's not looking at it is behind, right? And so like Zambia wants to be innovative. They want this technology here. They want tech companies moving here, right? And so they're, ahead of the curve.
This is all happening online. And like you explained, of course, crypto is the currency of the internet, right? And then I think my main worry, I think yours too as well, whenever you're ordering anything or transacting on the internet, you're scared of scammers. How is YellowCard working around this, man? We're all scared of getting scammed on the internet, so.
Yeah. I mean, so from our perspective, right, what we try to do is we try to make what can often be the most difficult piece of that transaction, which is how do I actually get crypto?
Yeah.
That's the part where most of the scammers are preying on you, right? That is the part where people are really getting hurt. And so that's what we're trying to solve is just how do I access this stuff? How do I access this stuff? Not just access it, but access it in a safe way, right? Access it quickly, access it in, a way that makes sense, right? In a way that works for me and that I'm not, going to lose my money on. And so that's really the problem that we're trying to solve. But I mean, yeah, man, you got to be careful when you're buying and selling crypto if you're doing it off of a platform that is actually, registered in the country and, working in the country and has an office in the country, man. And that's again why, you talk about like sort of competitive advantage and things like that. It's like, that's why we wanted to set up in each country. It's like, man, if somebody has a problem, they need to have an office that they can go to. Right now, I mean, we don't want everybody and their brother coming to our office, right? It's like, we have work to do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like the office is open. It's not going anywhere, right? We got a year's lease. So it's like, shit, we already paid for it. So it's, it's like, man, we got to use it. So, but it's, it's like, hey, look, we want to make sure that everybody knows you can transact here. Because number one, nothing's going to go wrong. We have a very, robust support team, all that great stuff. But it's like, if anything does go wrong, we have an office, right? We're not going anywhere. You know where we are. Right. We have people on the ground, right? It's not, some fly-by-night thing with,
I know soccer is not a big sport in America, man. Like you guys have
I'm amazed you called it soccer.
For your sake. If we were just the black crew that you see here, I would have actually said baller, which is like, our local name for the sport. Baller, yeah.
Oh, I like that.
You've got your ice hockey, which are popular sports, NFL, basketball. I don't know if these sports have yellow cards in them, but in soccer, yellow card is like a warning you're about to go out if you mess up again. So I'm curious now, Chris, please explain to us why the name yellow card. I'm curious.
This is your warning. It's time to buy Bitcoin, man.
This guy. Yeah,
man. So I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do something I shouldn't do for y'all. I'm gonna give you all the real story.
Please do.
I don't watch soccer. I don't watch. I'm not a football guy.
You
right?
and I both.
Basketball guy. Love basketball.
I'm a cricket guy.
Cricket? Mm-hmm. On purpose?
Imagine that.
I'm happy somebody finally asked that question.
Imagine that.
Because actually, you're almost on the national team, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I got selected for the national team, but I chose to go to school instead.
Oh, man. You should have dropped out like him.
Imagine that.
You'd be world famous by now, man. Yeah.
Not a big, what is it? Baller?
Yeah.
Not a big baller guy. There is a band called YellowCard, Ocean Avenue.
No, we're not that way.
There's a place on Ocean.
No, we're not that way.
No. Small white music.
You know Jay-Z though?
I know
50 Cent?
Oh yeah.
Da Baby?
Oh man, these are all American artists, man.
You know your maps?
Going down the list.
You know your maps?
I don't know.
All right. Kiddists? No.
Nah, see, there's you got some things to teach me. I got some things to teach you, man.
Sorry.
Anyway,
the point that you were making.
The band YellowCard, yes.
Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, like I had heard the song, but I didn't know who the band was. Right? I didn't like when I think YellowCard. Obviously now, but like when I think YellowCard back then, like soccer never came to my mind, right? I still don't really understand how offsides works, but that being neither here nor there.
You and Elson both, yeah.
I was super inspired. I was super inspired by like there were these vending machines at the time called Redbox, right? And these vending machines. These vending machines, you would put this company would distribute them in like gas stations, at supermarkets, places like that, and you could rent DVDs and video games and stuff out of this vending machine, and then return it to the vending machine, right? And it was just called Redbox, right? And then there's Green Dot, which is like a prepaid prepaid debit card, right? That you can like get your money directly deposited into, and you can just spend directly. It's like a pseudo bank account replacement, right? It's just Green Dot, right? Redbox, Green Dot. I was like, we should keep it as simple as possible, man. Yeah. Like I said, at the time we wanted to put gift cards in stores, and so we were knocking things around like Crypto Card. We decided that's too scary for 2016 people, right? Bit Card, but then we were like, we don't want to be subject just to Bitcoin, right? And so we were like, man, why not just YellowCard? Just color noun.
I like that.
And like the thing, that's the real story. But the thing is I guess there's some aspect of fate there, right? That like it worked out so well that there are so many like fake stories that we can make up about how the name started, right? Like we can say like the yellow fever vaccine card.
I was about to say the same thing.
Required everywhere.
I was about to say the same thing.
That's what I was supposed to have when I went to Nigeria the first time, right? That's and so like, man, to get into any African country, you need that
yellow
to get around Africa. You need a yellow fever card.
Yeah.
So just like the yellow fever card, you need your yellow card to get around the continent.
Smart.
Right? To be able to move money around, man. The color yellow, again, we knew none of this at the time. The color yellow is already associated with the idea of money transfer. Western Union, MTN, taxis, right? Taxis dropping cash off in places, man. So it's
but it's terrible when your pee is yellow, though.
Sorry?
It's terrible when your pee is yellow.
Yeah, drink more water, man.
Yeah, that's my point. Yeah, you don't want your pee to be yellow, though.
I don't know if I'd call it terrible. It's
all red is terrible for pee.
Red would be bad.
That's
Bill
Haas, yeah, man.
That's
a terrible one.
And anything but those two colors, then you're in real trouble.
But yeah, then you're good. Right?
You start pissing green. That's
that's not what I want to see. That's
No. Chris, I'm curious, man. I've been seeing
you are curious.
I am curious. I'm really interested
that's good
in
for a college dropout.
I know.
My man didn't get out of his system in college classes, so he has to ask his questions now.
So now yeah. You should have been that curious when you were in college.
You're an idiot, you know that, right?
I know this.
Chris, I'm curious. How does one get started with YellowCard?
Oh man, Google Play, App Store, download the app, right? Name, phone number, password, get yourself an account. And then, like I said, there's a little bit of KYC info, basic info that we collect on you. Make sure you're not on a sanctions list, that kind of thing. And then you're good to go. That's it.
How do I put my money?
So at that point, right, you can load for Zambia specifically, bank transfer or mobile money, right? So I got my MTN SIM, right? I want to deposit, 500 kwacha to get started, right? You can deposit 5 kwacha, deposit 15, deposit 50,000, right? Whatever you feel comfortable with, right? Deposit, you put that on there to get started and tell us, hey, we received your money. Do you want Bitcoin? You want USDT? What do you want, right? And how much of each? And then boom, it's in your wallet. Now you have Bitcoin. Now you have USDT. Now you have Ethereum, right? It's good to go. Works the exact same way in reverse. You set it up. We give you a wallet, right? You give that wallet ID out and anybody can send you money. So you need to receive money. You got a friend in South Africa that's trying to pay you. You got somebody in Europe.
You're able to just send that.
Yeah. So it's, they can easily send you money and then boom, sell it, liquidate it. Now it's on my Airtel SIM, right?
So here's something else that I want to know, right? So I buy Bitcoin worth 500 kwacha and the Bitcoin is worth X amount, 28,000 as you said. So I listen to a lot of podcasts, 23.
Yeah. College drops
and so with Cliff Central, Gareth Cliff in SA, every single episode, every single day, they update on how much Bitcoin is on that particular day. If for whatever reason I would like to store my 500 kwacha as Bitcoin and sell it whenever I want to, am I able to sort of, view whatever Bitcoin is worth on that particular day so I know whether to sell or not, or I get my information elsewhere and then I just come to the app to sell?
It's all in the app, right? And
also, you're able to see what the value is.
Oh yeah. You can see exactly how much it's worth, right? So let's say you put in 100 kwacha. We'll tell you exactly how much it's worth. You can toggle the currency. You want to see how much it's worth in dollars. You want to see how much it's worth in just Bitcoin. How much pure Bitcoin am I holding? How much is it worth in kwacha today, right? You can toggle it around. And so let's say you put in $100 and then turns to 80 and then it turns to 120. Man, hey, now 20%, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Now it's time to sell, right? So then again, you just boom, push it out. It's back on your Momo SIM, right? It's back in your account.
I know we didn't discuss this earlier, but I'm now trying to figure out a way because with that Zed podcast, we've got a very niche and intelligent group of people. Yeah. Let's figure out a way for people when they download the app and they sign up to sort of have a promo code where they type in TPZ.
Oh, I like that.
Right. So I don't know if it could be.
We got the man right
TPZ.
There.
Yeah.
Hey, Namakando, you hear that?
Namikando.
We
got business to do.
We're gonna make something work, brother.
So we did have promo codes.
Yeah, well, here's a mic. I think you just come sit here.
Is this live?
No.
Okay, so the issue, promo codes,
we always have that available. So currently they've been switched off. But people can do like we can have a Zed podcast thing.
Perfect.
when
Let's
they
do that.
sign up,
Let's do that.
Oh, we'll make
we
it
can
happen.
definitely hook you
Yeah.
up.
So again, I'm putting you on the spot here, but let's see if what incentive that somebody gets 5 kwacha or they get a small discount when obviously they use that promo code. Then you guys are also able to tell how many of our followers, the family that we have come through to YellowCard as a result of the platform.
5 kwacha sounds small. Let's do something.
It is. So
my man said this is an intelligent audience listening to a college dropout. So we gotta do something for them.
yeah. So what we had initially, so it's just that our promo codes campaign are kind of on a hold
All right,
because we
okay.
have better things in stock right now. But when we reactivate, right? So all you do, like if you use Zed Podcast, you automatically get credited with a 50 kwacha worth of, so you can buy Bitcoin
Perfect.
with it, whatever. And then
Perfect,
it's
yeah.
automated. Everybody who uses the promo code, we're going to tell it's coming from
Right,
the
got
Zed
it.
Podcast.
Yeah.
And so it was basically
What's the
like
promo code for it?
it's just for tracking, and then
What is the promo code?
Zed Podcast?
Zed Podcast.
That's Zed
ZED Podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. All right.
Yeah.
Write it down. Take it home with you.
Okay, so it's not active yet, but we're gonna create
We're gonna
one.
activate it.
So I
Alright,
think
cool.
Hopefully by the time this comes out, it'll be.
I think what he's brought up is important in expanding our use cases, right? Let's say we want to do, like, we're trying to partner with Travis Green for there's the Wow Fest coming up. So one of the use cases that we want to have as YellowCard is we're gonna create like an account with as a sponsor. So you can buy a ticket using a YellowCard wallet. Once you buy a ticket, so we're going to be giving away like VIP tickets and also like you can get discounts for items as long as you are using crypto. So that's one of the use cases. So that's like a vendor use case. Like
Right.
we're trying to have people who are going to be selling stuff there to be accepting crypto.
Right. Got it.
So that's, we're trying to expand in our uses.
Perfect. Sounds
It's
good.
going to work out.
You wanna come and close this off, my man?
Yeah.
Let's do this. Nice one, Namakando.
Thank you, sir.
We hope to get rich from this. That's been an interesting one. Chris Maurice, and he's the co-founder and CEO of YellowCard. And I know most of the time Team YellowCard is on other platforms, but this time around, well, you're getting it on that Zed Podcast, and I'm sure a lot of us have had questions about crypto and what YellowCard is, and I'm sure Chris has answered all those questions.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Chris, thanks for coming through.
Thank you guys. Man, I got one thing for the good people watching and listening at home, though. Listen to that Zed podcast as often as you can and buy Bitcoin.
Perfect.
And let's get rich together. Are we getting rich from that promo code thing? Sorry, I'm just curious.
Yeah, we should.
We should.
I hope so.
Namakando, are we getting rich from this? Most deaf?
My man said most deaf.
Yeah.
We want people not to use.
So activate it, my man.
Cool, man.
You say 50
I can
kwacha?
make it happen.
Yeah.
Oh, my God in heaven.
All right.
All right,
Might
Chris,
make an
thanks for
account
coming
too.
through. That's a podcast. My name is K Plus and the other guy.
Till next time. Cheers.
Yeah.
Dun 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 dun